it's unrealistic to hold women to these fake beauty standards that don't actually reflect the nuances and reality of what feminine beauty is, which isn't about a size of a dress. It isn't about the size of your dress or the way you look or your symmetry or your non-symmetry. It is about the way that you are as a human. It's about how strong you are. It's about how brave you are. It's how compelling you are. It's how interesting you are. That's beauty. Me.
Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's Newsstand, and I want to talk about the clip that I showed you in the beginning of this video. Now, I did not see this until I watched Entertainment Hacker's channel, so I want to give him full credit. He got it from Quiet Heartbeat's Twitter profile. A lot of this stuff I wouldn't see if it wasn't for the community surrounding it, right? So let's talk about this quote from Amber Heard. I want to talk about it one of two ways. I want to talk about it relating to Amber Heard, which it is extremely hypocritical. And then I want to talk about it relating to being a female in general, because I actually agree with Amber's statement 100% here. I agree with everything she has to say, and I wish more people truly said that, but meant it, and it wasn't coming from such a hypocritical standpoint. There's a big difference. When she says it actually looks really bad. And what I mean by that is Amber Heard, if you look back at her old movies, if you look back at early pictures of her, you will notice a little difference in whether it's her jawline, her nose, her face. She has a little bit more chubby cheeks. She has a little bit different of a smile, right? I remember her in Never Back Down. She's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about just sheer looks alone. She's beautiful, but she looks very different than she does now. There's a lot of times I compare Amber Heard to Barbie because I think that is simply the best way to put it. She was pretty before, but she became plastic. So saying that people hold us to unrealistic beauty standards is really quite damning in your field. You've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on plastic surgery to tell the rest of the world what feminine beauty is. And then, to add on top of that hypocritical standpoint, you are telling people to look at a person for what they are, right? How strong they are, how brave you are, how compelling, not what you look like from a superficial standpoint. You're telling us to look at you in those terms. You said that, not me. So let's look at you in those terms and what you've done to real abuse victims. Real abuse victims look tainted by being associated with you. Me Too movement, tainted by being associated with you. Abusers, tainted by being associated with you. Do you see a pattern here? If we're looking at you for your personality, honey, you are ugly. You are not a beautiful person. Reminds me of Shallow Hal. You remember that Jack Black movie? That, the girl was real big. She wasn't very pretty. She didn't have a lot going on as far as beauty goes. But everything about her was drop dead gorgeous in her personality. And that's how Shallow Hal had to see things. It's really quite a good movie with a good message behind it too. But if we had, Shallow Hal glasses on, honey, you would be the 800-pound woman in their, bed that can't get up. You would be the epitome of what is ugly. And it's really quite narcissistic of you to actually think otherwise. If you really think what you've done, how you've acted, how you've made people look in similar fields, associated with you, if you really think those things are positive, you, my dear, are insane. It's just insane, and I find it kind of funny. But I also want to talk about this is a talking point, right? When it comes to beauty standards. And a lot of it changes. Beauty is obviously subjective, but it's also kind of influenced by your personal taste, your culture, your country, what time period you grew up in, etc. Everything kind of depicts how you look at beauty, even down to something simple like how you looked at your mother. If she was good to you or if she was bad to you, those kind of reflect your taste, right? So not only that, but beauty standards are constantly changing drastically fast. When I grew up, the whole big thing, and then I grew up when Britney Spears was, very popular. The whole big rage was having a flat midriff. And it was, belly dancing, or Christina Aguilera with her belly showing. And now it's all about having a big butt. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. When I grew up, I would always make sure my ass wasn't too big. But now it makes no sense a lot of the time. So there was also a time, even when my grandparents were young, that being average size, so like around 12 or, 14, was looked at as beautiful. People like Marilyn Monroe. You look back now, and if she came out today, she would be overweight. But Marilyn Monroe is one of the most beautiful people that has gone down in history. Whether, and she was regular size, 8 to 12, She really didn't have that skinny stature that is so desired upon today. So now, if you're above a 4, you're considered heavy. These things are, as a female, impossible to live up to and impossible to obtain. And the reality of being a woman is kind of coming to terms wholeheartedly that you will never fit in with the way you look. You will never feel comfortable comparing yourself. And that's the important part there you need to stop learning to do. And it took me 20 years to do. Stop comparing yourself. Don't do it. But before you get to that point, before you get past the point of no return, which I've been at for entirely too long, you need to stop comparing yourself. And I think a lot of it has to do with social media and Hollywood has forced us to think looking again at Amber, that Barbie type as perfection. And it does greatly depend, right? You can't look that way if you are of a different ethnicity. So a lot of it depends on your genetics, your DNA. Being under or overweight most definitely depends on your genetics and quite possibly adds to, female insecurities. So if you're looking at stuff like social media, plastic surgery, face tuning, all of these things that we see, and a lot of it comes from Instagram models, right? It promotes the impossible. It promotes that standard that causes so many women. And I'm not talking about just, 10% of women. I'm talking 90% of women to have self-esteem issues. Now, depending on their, length and severity of it is one thing, but we all at some point or another look at these women and go, oh, damn, I wish I looked like that. So I know in my heart that these things are done, face tuning, a lot of it's fake, a lot of it's Photoshop, but yeah, I still, even though, I'll tell you not to compare yourself, I'll still constantly compare myself. Most women do. And it also gives men kind of this false impression of what to look for in a mate and what's expected out of real, women, what real look like in real life. So it gives falsehoods for pretty much everyone. If you're looking at an Instagram model, male or female, and you think that's 100% real, we need to chat. I also have always will unfortunately suffer from body dysmorphia. And it's something that I think a lot of women don't realize how bad it can get and don't realize that they themselves may go through what I've gone through for probably 22 years now. Looking at the mirror is hard because I compare everything. I used to wake up in the middle of the night, literally in a panic when I was a teenager, and count my ribs. It's terrible. But something with age that has kind of gotten better. You learn how to adjust. Adjusting in a healthy way is a lot better than stuff I do like avoiding a mirror, right? There's a healthy way to go about it. But what Amber's saying isn't wrong. It is unrealistic to hold all women to impossible beauty standards. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And when you look at somebody and take their whole person into effect, so obviously we're going to go after people that are beautiful, but when you find out the personality's not there, you can't obviously, look at that same person the same way. So when you look at them as a whole, that is what needs to be done. Unfortunately, as human beings, we are very, very vain. We are, beauty is only skin deep. And we will look at things in a way of what is beautiful and what is ugly. And I don't think a single word that she said came from a true place, even though I do agree with her. You need to be a lot more than just what you look like. Because if you're just somebody's arm candy, you don't matter. And that's the unfortunate truth. So you do need to be those things. You do need to be strong and brave. You do need to be compelling and righteous and moral. And unfortunately, I think that's where she falls very, very, very short. So, oh boy, the court, the answers are coming tomorrow morning. So I will be up at 5 getting them around. I will definitely have the video up very, very early. I'm looking forward to it. But again, I know I pissed some people off in my last video saying brace yourself. It doesn't. I don't know that even if this is a victory, if it'll completely be a victory in the public persona. And even if it's a failure, it's not necessarily a failure in the public persona, right? So I will definitely have one up early tomorrow. But let me know, of course, what you guys think about this. What you think about what Amber had to say, if you agree or disagree with her. Or, maybe you're that shallow person that simply doesn't care if a person is nice and kind and lovely to be around. You want a hot bitch and that's it, right? So let me know what you guys think and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.